From ClarkWoods.com, this is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 217. I'm Chris.
Oh, I thought you were going to put some sort of epithet on it.
No, I was just putting a little English on it.
Oh.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Steve.
I heard you heard the podcast Serial, Steve? Have you ever heard of this show? It's a little
You
show
mean
on the internet.
the podcast that made podcasts possible, or the first podcast? Even
well,
though there was plenty of podcasts before this podcast.
I don't want to give them too much credit, Steve, but yeah, I believe
How
that
many
they did
P's did I pop when I said podcast?
Well, that's why we have the little foamy things on our microphones to help with the plosives.
The one that we had at the radio station in college,
it was
must have absorbed so many farts.
Oh, so many. Did you like put that in a museum, like the museum of the does college have a museum?
The Museum of Fine Farts.
Well, no, I mean like some, like Hogwarts has a not a museum, but like a section where you can go and look at the awards for services to the school and stuff like that. I just wondered if your alma mater might have that pop filter framed somewhere saying this pop filter absorbed more farts than any other pop filter in the history of pop filters.
I don't believe that's true.
Which one do you think did? Who do you think might hold the
I mean, who has the most farts? Which college has the most farts in the most active radio program?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's...
You guys had the most nipples.
No, yeah, well, definitely. I mean, we were the nipples of college radio.
No, so I heard one of my favorite shows is a show called Do by Friday,
and it's all about it's the podcast that talks about the podcast Serial.
No. But so every week,
No. But
every week, the hosts of Do by Friday compete in a challenge. One of there's 3 hosts. They rotate around each week. Somebody else picks a challenge. And so this past week, their challenge was to solve a mystery. And so they went online and they asked somebody to give them a mystery to solve over the course of the week. And the first of the 2 hosts, this was actually a very short program, so I didn't know how it was going to be. Usually they're an hour and a half. This was 45 minutes.
They're doing research, or like they going around with a microphone.
Well, so this is where the Serial reference comes in, right? So the first 2 hosts, they kind of went to IMDb. So the mystery was this guy had seen a scene from a movie when he was a kid, just long enough before his parents shoot him away, and that scene has stuck with him ever since. And it was a scene where a guy puts his hand into a box of bees for therapeutic purposes, but it was kind of horrifying, and so this stuck with the guy. But in all his years, he's got to be in his 30s, I guess, and he has never been able to figure it out. So this is the mystery he gave to them.
The bees!
First 2 co-hosts came up completely empty. The third co-host then introduces a fully produced parody / satire. I guess satire. I don't know what's the difference between of Serial. It was the most impressive podcasting thing I've ever heard, because he just
better than anything we've ever done.
Better than anything we have ever done, Steve.
Wow,
I mean, and I don't say that lightly.
Wow,
better than anything they've ever done, for damn sure. Like, he just down to the smallest detail captured he had the Serial music, he had the interviews at the right points, he had the stereotypical 9 Inch Nails music, instrumental music that plays in the background. Because it got released as Creative Commons years and years ago, so all radio shows use it. This particular album, just everything, and he figured it out. It was an episode of Friday the 13th, the TV series.
Oh,
so the episode ends with him calling up the guy who asked them to solve the mystery, and they sit together and watch the YouTube clip. As
the YouTube clip they didn't watch the entire episode?
I do not believe they watched the entire episode.
What a bunch of dumbasses.
Maybe
I would
they
just watch the whole thing and then get
Steve,
complete context.
Okay, I don't know if they watched the whole episode. I'm just saying, within the context of this 20 to 30 minute Serial satire pastiche, whatever, they just listened to the one scene.
All right, well, I think they dropped the ball.
Maybe.
Is this the guy that did with the dog?
It is not the guy with the dog. I don't listen to that guy anymore.
Good.
He
doesn't deserve your ear holes.
He does not deserve my ear holes. My ear holes are precious, orify, And
for those of you that are new listeners to the podcast, there was this guy that had a dog, and I made some comments about how he should maybe be training his dog. And he called me out on Twitter,
yes,
by saying that I was the biggest asshole and I'm like a dog abuser or something like that. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm just trying to get it so your dog listens.
I believe
to you.
he
I never said for you to hit your dog. I just said maybe when the dog does something wrong, make the dog aware that they're doing something that you don't like.
I would say, Steve, I would go so far as to say that he replied to you in a thread.
Yes.
There were multiple Twitter messages dissecting your argument on that particular episode of the podcast. He was obviously listening to it, pausing, refuting your point, hitting play again, and then
Yeah, and then when it all came down to it, the dog still didn't fucking listen to him.
No, I have not caught up on the progress of that dog in quite some time.
I'm sure the dog fucking pisses all over his fucking pillow.
Oh well, it's quite possible, Steve. It's quite possible.
Like, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do this.
If you had a dog, would it piss on your pillow?
I hope the fuck not.
What kind of dog would you have?
I don't know.
Have you talked about this?
We want to get we've talked about getting a Cavador.
What is it? That sounds like a charming canine.
It's a mixed breed between a Labrador Retriever and a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Oh, okay. So does it have this? Which one is it closer to in size, or is it somewhere sort of in the middle?
It'll be in the middle. I think it'll be closer to being lab size, but it'll be smaller.
Yeah. Is the lab the mom?
I think so, yeah.
There's something about dog breeding. I mean, well, I went on a Wikipedia spiral once within the last month or so, trying to understand how evolution and genetics and breeding and those sorts of things work, and I still don't understand it. But the practicalities of a big dog and a small dog interbreeding makes me very uncomfortable.
Lab isn't that big of a dog. I mean, they're sort of like medium large.
Yeah.
And I think a Cavalier is more like a medium small. So it's not that.
So it's not a
like
Great Dane and a
Chihuahua
Beagle
or something like that.
Oh God. Oh man.
Ruh-roh!
Scoob, what's going on there, Scoob?
You were just like the Canadian Shaggy. Well, I guess what's his butt was Canadian.
Silent Bob.
Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem.
Wasn't he Canadian?
He might have been.
I don't know.
I don't know. He was
That's something you can look up. People on the internet.
He swore on the radio once. I think we played that clip.
Did we play the clip?
I think so. I think we threw that in one of the.
I don't want to be talking about a goddamn fucking.
I don't remember the rest of it.
It was like after a dead dog fucking story.
If we didn't play it on the show, we certainly linked to it multiple times. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. That and the Orson Welles like. The
Orson Welles,
the champagne commercial.
Oh yeah,
that's one of my. I can watch that forever in a day.
Yeah, Orson Welles' Unicron. That's my jam. You know, just imagining him at the end of his career going, "I got to play a fucking robot," and he's like, "You know what? Yes, you do, Mr. Wells. Yes,
well,
you do."
He was drunk doing an ad for Paul Masson. So like.
Just think, but like that movie
You shall drink no wine before it's time.
That movie has Orson Welles and Leonard Nimoy, and Judd Nelson. That movie does. It's an embarrassment of 80s riches.
I know. Wow. I mean, well,
what's an embarrassment of riches and then Judd Nelson? You know,
I was gonna say I'm like Leonard Nimoy and Orson Welles are sort of like
and Peter Cullen, the original voice of the Optimus.
Oh, okay. And,
I believe so.
And then Eric Idle, I believe, was
Wreck-Gar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that I know that much about Transformers.
The
Transformers, the movie.
The Transformers, the movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right.
If you look it up on IMDb, I have heard, Steve, and I am not pleased about this, but I have heard that the new movie Bumblebee is actually a franchise best for the live-action Transformers franchise. And
okay,
well, I mean, I know that's not saying much, but
set the bar low enough, then like.
But it looks good.
After 45 of them, how could this guy be the worst? But he is.
The thing that's different is, I mean, they they use the designs of the 80s robots. At least that's what I've seen in the commercials, and you can actually tell what the fuck is going on. Like it's
not just a bunch of like clusterfuck. I still don't think I want to see it. Like,
yeah, I don't want to see it either. But when somebody tells me that it's good, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, am I gonna have to watch this someday?
No, here's what you do. You don't go in the theaters. You wait for it to be on Netflix.
Well,
or HBO or something like that.
Which means I'm never gonna watch it. Like I went through.
So that's fine.
I went through and added a whole bunch of stuff. I'm on the cycle where the part of the cycle where I'm adding stuff to my queues.
You should watch the Great British Baking Show.
I have seen that, and I've thought about watching it with the family.
It's good. Like sometimes they actually do curse, but like
but it's never, my kids live with my dad.
I know, but it's never like. It's never that bad.
Right, yeah.
It's usually them being like, oh shit, I messed something up or something like that.
We've been having a debate about, not a debate, but this conversation about this movie 8th Grade, which is rated R, but I've been told it's only rated R because of its language and that I should watch it with my 7th, soon-to-be 8th grader. So, I mean, when that comes out...
And then have one of those really important conversations.
I guess...
As a parent, and be like, so what did you think about that movie?
And he'd be like, can we not have this conversation, Dad?
I don't want to talk to you about it.
Yeah, she already doesn't want to talk to me about girl-related puberty things. So I don't know what the content of that movie is, but I'm sure... It's
probably girl-related puberty things.
Probably. That's a title. Girl-related puberty things. So yes, you were trying to get us back on track here. I was trying to get
because like you were talking about Transformers, and that's a good segue into Leo, who sent us an email.
Why is that a good segue?
He is an uber fan of
of the Transformers,
right?
Oh, okay.
I think he's well versed in all the animated series. I don't know if he gives shits about the movies.
Yeah, or the comic books. I read the comic books were some of the because I would go down to Page's drugstore in the center of Chelmsford, and that's where I'd buy my some of my comics. If my mom
before Hot
Comics, before a lot of things. Yeah, I would. I'd go in there and get some stuff, including the Headmasters, which I thought was the coolest thing. And I don't recall them ever really making the toys, or if they made the toys for that. I never got one.
I mean, it was a Page's drugstore exclusive.
Yeah,
the Headmasters.
The Headmasters.
What was it? A bunch of fucking guys that ran colleges?
No. Leo should write us a message about who the Headmasters are. I would love to tell you, but I feel like if we stop right there, then we'll get a nice email from Leo explaining who the Headmasters are.
He's gonna email us a bunch of because it's fun.
The Headmasters. There was Dumbledore, and there was Xavier. All those.
What's the name of some of them motherfucking
Headmasters? All right, so yeah, Leo wrote us an email a couple weeks ago. Sorry that we didn't get to it last week, Leo, but here we are this week.
I saw him this weekend, and he was really pissed off.
Oh shit, dog! Like who did he want to kill first? You or me?
He wanted to kill me because
he saw you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he didn't.
And he did come over, and we played Smash Brothers, and that was probably aggravating everybody.
Oh boy, we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Not yet though. Right?
No, we talked about the email first.
So Leo sent us an email, a friend of the show, Leo, with the subject line very similar to a lot of subject lines Leo has had to send us over the years.
You guys are idiots?
Well, this one is a little bit more kind. It just says 2 corrections.
Oh.
I mean, if you read between those 2 words, I think
is he hoping to replace us with 2 corrections?
Which corrections would he replace us with?
2 other people.
I think there was a book called The Corrections by some asshat.
Okay.
Yeah. It was probably by some asshat. 2 corrections. All right. So, hey guys, writes Leo. 2 corrections. First, the Romans never invaded Ireland. In fact, a couple weeks ago we were talking about you getting a Caesar salad that was maybe not so
Caesar-y.
Yeah. And I,
mayonnaise-y.
As I am wont to do, started on this apparently historically inaccurate conspiracy theory.
So I'm gonna try to predict what he's gonna say.
Okay.
He's gonna say the Romans didn't make it as far as Ireland.
In fact, there is no concrete evidence that any Roman ever set foot in Ireland. Would you like to predict the next sentence, Steve?
I think that maybe like after hitting Great Britain, I think their forces were a little bit
Any particular part of Great Britain?
Scotland.
All right, Steve. Let's read this next sentence and see if you're correct.
Okay.
Chris, you might be thinking of the Roman conflict with the Scottish Picts.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at Steve. We should just have Steve tell us the whole email.
I didn't read this beforehand. I legit did not read this
All right.
beforehand.
Chris, you might be thinking of the Roman conflict with the Scottish Picts, who did have a propensity to run at their enemies naked, covered in blue paint, but were decidedly not Irish. Steve, can I ask you a question?
How do I predict these amazing? How am I such a seer?
Answer that question first, and then I'll ask you.
I don't know.
Question.
Like it
just comes natural.
Yeah.
Were you trained by the headmaster Charles Xavier?
No. And
okay, so here's my question. I feel like a lot of people, similar to here in America, a lot of people want to believe that they have Native American DNA. And there's a lot of people in my particular family and my wife's family that want to believe that they have Irish DNA.
I definitely do.
But I hear far fewer people wanting to have Scottish DNA. And yet, I like the idea of being descended from a bunch of people who would run at their enemies naked, covered in blue paint. I don't know about you, Steve.
I think I do.
That would be.
I think I do have Scott. I think my from what I think, it's Irish, English, Scottish, and French.
Yeah,
is the majority of the makeup of my.
But
I haven't. No, I don't want them to fucking be like, "You're the fucking Golden State Killer."
Are you the Golden State
Killer?
No,
they already caught him, and it happened fucking when I was a little kid.
What do you have to be afraid of?
I don't have to be. I don't know. It's just weird. No. Like it's less. Well, obviously, it's not that at all. That because I've never done anything like that. But it's more like
Big Brother.
Not Big Brother. It's like the sort of medical companies knowing, or insurance companies knowing that they have like a predisposition to like disease A or B.
Got it. Yeah.
And then being like, well, we're not going to insure you because you took a fucking genetics test.
Yeah. Well, my and my family's mostly my passion for genealogy got us to the point where all of us have taken the ancestry one, and so I've had good luck with it. I found a Lithuanian relative that we've never been able to find anybody from my dad's mother's side of the family beyond her brothers and sister. But we found a dude in England of all places who thought we were going to be related through my English roots, but in actuality we're related through Lithuania. So
was he from Lithuania, or his folks were?
His mom or his dad was from Lithuania.
So you guys talk all the time?
A little bit. Not all the time. I've talked with him once or twice. He didn't have a lot to say because not a lot got passed down. But he was able to say...
No, but you could talk about other things.
Yeah. I mean, it's been busy.
Did you talk about how you do a podcast with your buddy Steve?
Yeah, you should listen to it. We talked about you this week, Mr. British Man.
That's his name.
Well, that's what all Brits are called, right? Mr. Brexit.
Post-Brexit, like you're British man?
They had like a big thing today. Like Theresa May was like, we're not gonna vote on this because I'm gonna lose. That's what I read in the headlines. So not the headmasters, the headlines.
So if they lose, then Brexit doesn't happen.
Something like that.
Which would I think probably be best.
Well, yeah, she didn't want to lose, but there's some other. I don't know. You could read J.K. Rowling's Twitter. She's very active about that and not very active about explaining things that happened in her latest movie.
When we were in Ireland, I think a talkative cab driver was explaining, or maybe it was something on TV. I don't even remember. Yeah. But it was like, what happens if
they leave?
If they leave the EU, it was less of a concern for the. I think the main concern for Ireland was commerce between them and Great Britain, because they would no longer be EU. So then they would technically be like something like the United States, like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're importing something from the United States, you would have to pay like whatever
Your
so,
taxes, your VATs.
But like, I think the problem was Northern Ireland
Mm-hmm.
is still part of
Great Britain, Kingdom of Great Britain and
Yeah.
Northern Ireland.
Right. So there was actually talk. Like, I think it might have been the cab driver talking about how like the Northern Irish might like, if Brexit does happen,
Yeah.
they might consider just saying fuck this and
Oh.
becoming one big Ireland.
Oh boy, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
They don't like each other, the North and the South.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll
Maybe they could get along.
learn to like each other because
Yeah,
they
like the Romans and the Irish, who got along because they never met.
Yes.
No, I mean, like, so anyway, I was intrigued by that. I apologize to our listeners and to Leo in particular for getting that wrong.
Is that it? Is there
No,
more?
there's one more. There's one more.
Was it
do you want
I said?
This one is, yes, I think it is about something that you said. Do you want to predict what the second paragraph is about? The second
No, but
correction?
you could preface it, and then I could see if I can figure out what I got wrong.
All right. So I'm gonna. Nobody in the audience will be able to see this. You ready? Why don't you like put your hand up when I reach the word where you know what's gonna happen?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Second, mad.
Cow disease is in England, not in Ireland.
No. So second, mad cow disease is caused by a prion, which is a protein that has been altered so that it has a detrimental effect on our nervous system. Prions are not viruses or bacteria, and no amount of cooking will eliminate them. Steve, if your steak thing had mad cow disease, you could have had it raw or well done, and it would have made no difference.
Okay, so I could possibly have mad cow disease right now.
Do you feel mad?
I mean,
don't have a cow, man.
any indication like of me playing Smash Brothers this weekend, you could say that I was pretty mad.
Well, let's talk about that, Steve. The Smash Brothers is new. It's like the Switch exclusive.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be a Nintendo game, then
well, I don't know how these things work. Maybe they worked out some deal.
So way back in like I think 1999, there was this game called Super Smash Brothers.
Were they partying like it was 1999 then?
Yeah, I mean, that you could play 4 players. I mean,
oh
obviously.
Wow, that sounds like they were. Yeah. That's
so
quite a party.
Back then, they released this game where it was a mashup of a bunch of different Nintendo characters,
right,
fighting each other.
Which is, there's an appeal to that. I mean, this is like 3, 4, 5 years or so from when Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter were huge.
Yeah, I mean, like around the same time, I think this is when like Street Fighter 3 is at its peak.
Okay, yeah.
And then Marvel vs. Capcom 2, maybe,
right.
I think is around that time as well.
So Nintendo's feeling like they got to get into the action.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and I think Dave said it best, it's like, as far as Smash Brothers being a competitive game, and it's just like, when it's so absurd, like if you had been over, and been playing like in the.
I mean, I would have lost a lot.
We all lost a lot. Like there was.
Well, somebody has to win.
Yes,
so
I occasionally did.
Okay.
I think Brian won the lion's share.
Okay.
Of victories. I think John got a couple under his belt. I think Dave did as well. I think Becky a couple of times, maybe. And then I think I'm trying to think of the people that won the most.
Yeah. But
I
Brian
think Brian was the overwhelming.
Did he have a trick to it?
No, I mean I think he's just slightly better than us. So.
Okay, well
But there's a lot of like random crap that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot more simple back on the N64.
Yeah.
And I didn't play that one like hardly at all because I think I had sold my N64. To pay for a trip that this guy Eric and I took up to Montreal.
Oh, I've heard of this trip.
And that was the smoking in the car on the way up. And
yeah.
Will being very mad and very cold.
Right.
That we would not smoke at the same time.
Yeah.
It was seriously like it was not something we in any way intended.
Yeah.
But it was just like I would have a cigarette, roll up my window.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a minute or two later, he'd roll down his window, have a cigarette.
Couldn't time it. Couldn't get it synchronized.
Fuckers just smoke at the same time.
Did you ever like sync up?
Yes.
Okay.
Like after he said that,
after he admonished you.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that is one of those times where it's just like, oh, we didn't realize we were doing it.
Yeah.
Like we didn't mean to make you very cold in the backseat for forever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you sold an N64 to go on that trip. Was it worth it? All right. So you didn't play that first one. But when did you get into it? Smash Brothers.
The one for the GameCube, which I believe was 2000. Was it 2001? No, I think it was early 2002.
Okay.
Was when that came out, I believe. Either that late 2001, early 2002, because I remember playing it when I was in North Adams.
Okay.
Or as I like to call it, North Madam's ass.
Well, wow. I don't know if I've heard that story before. What is the North Madam have a peculiar ass in some way? No.
No and.
And did you like this Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I mean, we used to play it a whole cubic fuck ton. Like if I looked at my save file right now to see how many hours I had,
that's not a thing to do.
That fucking game, like it was probably well into the hundreds of hours.
Do you have a favorite character?
Ness, which was from the series Earthbound.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you've explained where Ness comes from to me before, but I did not recall.
He's the main character of Mother 2, or Earthbound as it's known in the United States.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the few games where you can find him. Is that right? I'm trying to remember what you told me about Ness in the past. Or people were excited about him being revealed to be in this new one. I
mean, the thing about this new one is that everybody that's ever been in a Smash Brothers game is in this brand new one.
Oh, and is that sounds like a good idea, but is it not a good idea?
Well, I mean, I don't think I've even come close to unlocking all the characters, and we have a lot of it was just I was trying to get as many done, and I think this was a bad idea on my part, trying to get as many characters as I could before people started showing up.
Oh, okay.
And so I was playing a lot of the game and,
getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when people started showing up, I was already kind of frustrated.
Yeah, that's not a good... I don't know if you know this, Steve, but it's probably not good to be frustrated before your guests show up.
Right.
That tends to complicate a gathering.
Yeah, and I was a grouchy Gus, I think, through most of the afternoon.
Did anybody ruffle your hair and say, "Lighten up, Stevie"?
No. But yeah, I feel bad that I was just grouchy to folks and Becky and whatnot. But
yeah. Well, I mean, but
I think at a certain point I just stopped playing. But I think that grouchiness that I had was just leaked over.
Right. But the funny thing about that, and not to bring my therapist into this, but it feels to me it's like you had great intentions, right? Like you were trying to make it possible for everyone to have their widest selection of characters.
Right.
Like you're coming from a very good place. And sometimes...
What the fork are you talking about?
I can't say... So this morning, I was in the shower. I've been feeling off today, and Stephanie's
so you were in the shower watching The Good Place.
I know. But I was in the shower, and Stephanie said, go in the shower, you'll feel better. I kind of did. And at some point, something happened in the shower. I think maybe I dropped a bar of soap or something. And I said fudge. Because... when I don't want to say fuck because maybe my children are around, I say fudge. And so just for a second, I was like...
I said the F-dash word.
Yeah, but just for a second, I was like, let me try the Good Place version. And I said, fork. And I was like, it doesn't feel right to me. It feels like I'm being inauthentic. I am a person that grew up with fudge as my F word.
You ever watched
equivalent.
Johnny Dangerously?
Johnny Dangerously. I do not believe
there was a character, I think it was... a villain in that movie that would, instead of saying fuck, he would say fork.
He would say fork. So this is not a good place original idea.
Well, I mean, there's no such thing as an original idea.
Well, this is true. I try to convince my students of this every class.
You take bits.
You
of
take
all
the good. You take the bad.
No.
You take them both.
And then you have something smashed into your face. Super Smash Brothered into your face.
Super smashed in my face. Could you
But
imagine?
there was several other Smash Brothers games in between, like the one that just came out, which is Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Right.
So yeah, there was the one for the Wii, Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Okay. Yep.
Which
I think I might have. I played that probably. Was there a Wii U version?
Yes.
Okay. I played one of those at your place at some point, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
So it was probably the Wii U one.
Yeah.
So then they had a 3DS one and a Wii U one, so you could play either on the handheld or on the.
Right.
Now the Switch is both, so now Ultimate, and then. So it has fuck tons of characters, half of which I unlocked over the course of the day. I think one of the funnier parts, or one of the funnier matches that we had, there's these things called assist trophies.
Okay.
And so you pick it up and then you basically press the A button and it uses it, and it just the character comes out and helps you out.
Okay.
Or a puppy appears on the screen and blocks everybody from being able to see.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so the puppy just... Okay, I'm imagining. Is it a cute puppy at least?
Yeah, it was a really cute puppy.
It's a cute puppy, but you can't see
But I think Becky
anything
lost
that's
like
going on.
5 or 4 of her, because we were playing 5 stock matches, and I think she lost 4 of her guys.
Because of the puppy.
Because of the puppy being in the way.
Oh, man. Did that make you want a dog less?
No, I mean... It made me not want to ever get that assist trophy again.
Yeah. No. I can't stop thinking about this. I made the Facts of Life joke, and now all of a sudden I'm imagining a Facts of Life fighting game, and I'm imagining who I would pick, if it would be Blair or Tootie or Natalie or Joe or Mrs. Garrett. I don't know.
I didn't watch enough of the Facts of Life to
George
really
Clooney.
have a
You could pick George Clooney.
There was a
he was in there.
I think there
Mackenzie Aston. He was also in there.
I think there was a Les Miserables fighting game.
For real?
I think maybe it was a fever dream I had.
You should make this. Maybe it could be your ticket to the big time.
I think it does exist.
Les Miserables. That sounds. I don't know. Do you get to play Russell Crowe and
I think it came out prior to the film version.
Fuck me. I think it would be better if like you were playing Javert and whatever Valjean, is that what
Jean Valjean?
Yeah, right. Except that one of them turns into Wolverine and the other one turns into the Gladiator from Gladiator, and they.
I think it was a 2D fighter, so like a Street Fighter-esque fighter.
Any blood?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I barely remember it.
Anybody die of crazy diseases or break out in song?
Sure.
Who would you? Would Joe, Tootie, Blair, Natalie? Mrs. Garrett?
All of those. And now they're gonna have a mashup game with the Facts of Life versus Les Miserables.
Oh shit, dog! Facts of Life versus what's contemporaneous with? Oh, Different Strokes, because Mrs. Garrett, both shows.
Oh,
same cinematic universe.
Well, it doesn't have to be the Marvel cinematic universe and the Capcom video game universe.
But I mean, and of course we all know that all of every TV show ever made exists in that one kid from St. Elsewhere's head.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, there's a thing on the internet about that.
So, but the thing about
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, the thing about Smash Brothers now versus Smash Brothers, N64 days.
Yeah.
Was it was just before it was a celebration of Nintendo, and I'm like, this is all our properties. Here's Kirby fighting Pikachu and Luigi and Samus and Star Fox or whatever.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of these guys fighting, and then the one for the for the GameCube basically expanded on that. Mm-hmm. But when things started going strange was when I think it was Brawl. Mm-hmm. They had Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, so they brought in like the Sega characters.
And Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Interesting.
And so they're like, now we have Sega involved and Konami involved.
Oh.
And then in the newer ones, there's Mega Man.
Oh, boy.
And they just announced Joker from Persona, and I don't know what company makes that. So, it's like now it's just a celebration of video games in general.
Okay.
Like, the Cloud from Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy VII has never been on a Nintendo console until like I think next year it's going to come out for the Switch. But it's never been on a Nintendo console, and so it seems really weird that this particular character would be the one that they added to Smash Brothers.
Yeah. There was a
and in Metal Gear Solid, I don't think was ever on a Nintendo. I think that was PlayStation exclusive. So it's weird to have these particular characters in these games.
This weekend there was news that in terms of like Switch and Switch exclusives, something. So everyone who's been a long time listener knows that I'm a Marvel nut. Everything Marvel related is, and I could talk till I'm blue in the face about Marvel's marketing this past week. But there was a.
But in your defense, you were dressed as Papa Smurf.
Am I dressed as Papa Smurf right now?
No, but I was. You said in the past I've talked. So I was blue in the face.
Yeah. I see what you did.
I'm
a little off, Steve. I'm sorry. It was a Marvel game. So there's been, I guess, Square Enix and another company have been working on some sort of Avengers project for the last year that had this super, really interesting high-res trailer ages and ages ago that there's been no news about since. And so this week...
I wouldn't count on this game coming out anytime in the fucking next 10 years because like Kingdom Hearts 3 has been in fucking development for 5.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, just the reason that I bring it up is this past week, Marvel unveiled 3 trailers for their... two of them publicly and one of them only at this, I think it's in Brazil, a Comic-Con of some sort. But they also revealed, I think on Thursday, not Marvel themselves, but a video game company was developing a sequel to, I forget which Marvel superheroes game, when it was going to be a Switch exclusive. And so people got all sorts of confused. And the idea of exclusives and all of these different things being developed, for me as somebody who tries to keep track of the IP that and I hate that term, but I love the Marvel characters. As somebody who tries to keep track of all that stuff, it's like, well, I don't know. We've talked about this in the past. All I want is a cool Marvel game that's not complicated. And, so I have an iOS device and every Marvel game I try is overly complicated. And I don't have a console. But if this Avengers game, which will probably never come out, was cool, I'd probably go for that.
Well, if Square's developing, it'll probably never come out.
Yeah. This is true.
And if they do, it'll be like, it'll be like Final Fantasy 15. You'll be like, what the fuck is this?
What is it? Yeah. So a bunch of you tried and failed and tried to have fun with Smash Brothers, but
I mean, there was fun being had. I'm hoping I didn't wreck anybody's day with how grouchy I was. Mm-hmm. And how snippy and just nasty I was. Maybe closer to the end. I mean, it didn't help that I had a couple cocktails. I don't think
that'll do it. I don't because you don't drink that much. Right?
Yeah, I really don't. It's weird.
It just takes a little bit, and if you're,
yeah, it's weird. Like that.
Yeah. I mean, but it can make you happy too. Like it just depends on your.
If it makes you happy.
Oh God, that's a terrible song. Who does that song?
I don't know.
That's Sheryl Crow, right?
Sure.
I think I generally like Sheryl Crow, but a lot of the songs that are popular from these big name artists, like their popular songs, I hate, and then like the singles, I'm like, what? Who thought that? And then I'll listen to the album, I'll be like, that's a single right there. That's a damn good song. What are you doing? Katy Perry's like that. All of her singles are fucking shit, and well, not all of them, but a lot of them are shit. And there's album songs that are actually good.
I mean, it's weird that you've listened to an entire Katy Perry album.
I've listened to multiple Katy Perry albums, multiple times.
Did you buy them? Or did you buy them for your daughters?
No, I bought them back in the day. Now, I mean, I haven't bought anything in a long time because I subscribe to Apple Music and I add it to my library.
Yeah, I forget about that.
Yeah. I mean, I buy things from my friends who are sort of independent people that I want to support their work.
Sort of independent people?
They're independent people. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all independent people.
Well, you know, Beyonce is apparently an independent woman, or she was. That's one of those songs that was on the Charlie's Angels soundtrack, I think. Independent Woman, maybe. And it was one of those things that kind of like when George Michael says, you know,
I want your sex.
No, when he swears he's not going solo back when he's in Wham, it's kind of like, you should. Don't.
Did he say that he wasn't going to go solo?
I'm not planning on going solo. That's in Wake Me Up Before You Go Go.
Oh.
Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. I'm not planning on going solo.
I
And
don't think
he went solo.
I don't think he was talking about his music career. I think he was talking
Yeah, I think there's multiple meanings there. George Michael's a deep artist.
No, I think he was just basically talking about whatever person that he was romantic with.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't want to go out by himself. He wants company. Who can blame him?
I mean, you know, wherever he wants to do it. I mean, he's dead now, but you know.
Yeah, well, you know, he could do it in hell or heaven or limbo.
Don't assume hell.
I don't believe in any of these things.
Yeah, well, don't go
hell
right
sounds
for
like
fucking
it would be
hell.
Hell sounds like it would be more fun, honestly.
All right.
Like, think about the people who are in. If these things have been described to us correctly, do you want to be up in heaven with the harps, or do you want to be down in hell with the interesting people?
I don't know. I like if being tortured for eternity is what you consider fun, then please.
Well, you know, for some people it might be. But so imagine a person who's into S&M. They go to hell, and instead of being tortured for all of eternity,
they get put into heaven.
Well, what would happen to them? Like, they don't get tortured at all.
Like if your bag is being tortured, then like you're gonna love it. So they can't
put you there.
Yeah, well they can put you there, but they'd have to like in The Good Place, like have a special brand of hell for you.
Okay, so yeah,
where there's frozen yogurt shops.
Everybody's very excited that show got renewed.
I mean, I certainly am. It's a great show.
I don't watch it, but I've tried to watch it, and it seems like it is a show that would be likable.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to watch it, but
yeah, I mean, the characters. I mean, they're not just a bunch of like 20-somethings living in an apartment and fucking
and going to a coffee shop.
Yeah, it's not that, so you won't like it.
No, yeah, no.
It's got some depth and
well, I like shows with depth
and great character development, and
I don't have the patience for sitcoms.
It's not it's
a sitcom. It's half an hour. Right? It's a sitcom. It's either a sitcom or it's a drama, or a dramedy.
I
don't have the patience for dramas or dramedies either.
No, but this is. I don't want. I like sitcoms. I think studio audience.
Okay, laugh tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is a scripted show that happens to be funny.
Okay.
But
where would you put Scrubs in that? Scrubs did not have a laugh track and was not in front of a studio audience. Would you not call it a sitcom?
No.
Okay. All right. So it's like there's like a third category in your brain.
Well, I mean, it could be a comedy show, but like I think sitcom. When I think sitcom, I think audience. I think
Seinfeld.
I mean, Seinfeld is a sitcom.
Mm-hmm. It's a bad one, but it's a.
How can you fucking say that something is bad based on its worst episode, Chris?
Because it's fun to get people upset about it. You know, it's like
if you had watched like more than one episode of that fucking show.
It's absurd. It's not my type of humor. I don't
understand your type of humor.
I mean, I don't think very many things are funny. No, I don't know. It's never gotten me. You know.
How is it supposed to get you if you've never fucking watched it?
I don't have time to watch it.
You have plenty of time to watch fucking Marvel movies hundreds of times over again.
I do. I'm a student of those films.
Just watch a fucking couple episodes of Seinfeld.
But then I have to watch all of them.
You don't have to watch all of them.
Yeah.
It's just not a completionist kind of show. You can watch any episode of Seinfeld, like the one where like George had the high score on the Frogger machine and he wanted to save it, and like so he had like a fucking battery hooked up to it, and he was trying to get it across the street, and it was like George trying to move the Frogger machine across the traffic like in the Frogger game.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So are any of them likable? It seems to me that like watching, what I understand about the show is that none of them are likable. They're all kind of
Seinfeld or The Good Place?
Seinfeld. They're all kind of assholes.
I mean, everybody's kind of an asshole.
I don't know. That's a viewpoint there. I can't. I don't know. I have not done the sort of craft analysis that I would do to really pick something apart. But I know that Seinfeld and the sort of descendants of Seinfeld, which The Good Place I would put in there, are not things that resonate with me, and I don't know why that is. I should, being a student of story and narrative, go and try to figure it out.
I think you should.
But that would require me actually like sitting down and spending time with that stuff, and I
yeah,
have better things to do with my life.
No, but
life is.
Do
too
you
short.
really? Because like as a career, you have chosen.
I have chosen to study story and teach students how to study story. Yes.
So by not doing it, I think you're doing them a disservice.
Perhaps, but I am not lecturing on TV programs.
Yes, but it's part of
it's
narrative.
Okay. Yes, I'm not going to disagree with you there, but there are plenty of other narratives that I could and do bring up to them and use in place of Seinfeld.
If I was one of you would hate me as your student.
Why? Why would I have hated you?
Because I would say things like this to you, and you'd be like, I'm just an old dude that ate Seinfeld. The most popular and most syndicated show ever.
I mean, just because it's the most popular syndicated show ever doesn't mean that it's good.
Well,
the
fact that it survived so long in syndication, I think, is a testament. Like that, and I think The Simpsons, and the fact that The Simpsons is still fucking on, is just one of those things. It's just like,
but
there's a reason why
Everybody Loves Raymond is also always on, and is that a good show?
Is it always on?
My parents seem to be able to find fucking Everybody Loves Raymond, and
why are they watching that instead of Seinfeld?
Well, Seinfeld is definitely not their thing. Like I think. I don't know if they ever tried to watch Seinfeld, but maybe it comes
I need to
down
talk to
that.
your brother to see if this is just a Clark thing. That you don't
be.
Like Seinfeld.
It might be. I wonder if it comes down to like, what are you raised with? And are you raised with the sort of dumber comedy, and you go down the path of Friends and things like that, or are you raised with more cerebral stuff and you end up liking Seinfeld, or are you raised with dumb comedy and you rebel?
No, but I remember watching things like Monty Python and stuff like that at your house. So like, it's not like you didn't watch crazy fucking weird
I would say
comedy.
that, and we've talked about this in the past, that Monty Python was my brother's thing, and I don't feel like I was allowed to like Monty Python on the same level. I had friends who loved it, and so I kind of like snuck some Monty Python in there, and I certainly saw.
You guys need to get over
a lot
this,
of the movie.
Like this is John's thing.
It's not there anymore. I'm just saying, in terms of my development, that's what it was. It's like, so I didn't see a lot of the Monty Python TV shows, but I did watch and love the films.
Yeah, you loved, I imagine, the third one where it was like the guy running away from the girls with the tits. Girls with the tits.
I remember Holy Grail, and I remember Meaning. Is it Meaning of Life?
Yeah.
Holy Grail and Meaning of Life. I don't think I ever fully watched Life of Brian.
Life of Brian's really great.
Yeah, that felt like one of those ones that I missed, and I think
it's on Netflix now.
Yeah,
I think they just put all the Monty Python stuff back on there.
Yeah,
I was watching an episode recently.
Did you ever watch the show Ed?
No,
it was like an hour long on NBC. That was, I don't know. It would be a very interesting project to sort of track, like, how did I get here to my I mean, the Seinfeld thing is kind of a bit. Like, I understand people.
You brought up Scrubs. Did you like Scrubs? Did you watch and/or like Scrubs?
I watched Scrubs religiously through. I forget.
And then you were like, you were so
it.
excited when they did that last season.
No, I fell off. I fell off somewhere in there, but I remember coming on board for the second season premiere where they have Colin Hay following him around playing. I can't get to sleep. The fucking
Overkill.
Song. Yes, he's playing Overkill, and I just thought it was one of the most brilliant things I'd ever seen, and so I was hooked for another.
No, but like that show, like all of those characters have like deep flaws.
Yes, but I don't think that they're inherently assholes. I feel like the characters on Seinfeld are inherently assholes, and like you have to get past that. And if you can't get past it, then I mean, am I wrong? It seems to me like
I mean, they're not generally nice. So maybe that's the thing.
Yeah.
And so like the characters in Scrubs, well, freaking Dewey Cox, whatever the fuck his name is.
I mean, both of his bosses are not particularly nice.
Is there so there's enough balance of other characters that are nice that you found it to be?
But I think even the jerk characters eventually get development.
You were going to be like bad.
Even the bad characters eventually get development. They don't become any less bad. They don't become any less assholes, but they get development. And I get the sense. And again, I have not watched enough Seinfeld to really be able to judge this, but I don't get the sense that they're ever trying to develop these characters past the caricatures that they are. Like here you've got these 4 or 5 particular assholes, and you're going to see what they get up to.
It's 4 assholes.
Okay, see what is Newman included in that 4?
Well, Newman is a peripheral character.
Okay. Yeah, I mean I know him because Jurassic Park.
I mean, he's basically no, that was Sam Jackson.
I know it's, but he has to say "hold on to your butts" because of what the Newman guy does.
Yes, he had to reboot the fucking system.
Yeah,
he had that fucking cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Oh, best movie ever. Not really, but it's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah, I won't.
This is a Unix system. I know this. I don't know. I like the things that I like. Why can't I like the things that I like?
I'm not judging you for liking the things you like, but I'm judging you for not giving a chance to things that
I watched the last episode.
Could possibly like I've said, that episode is one of the worst episodes of Seinfeld. Not
the worst, just one of the worst.
I
got the impression that most people think it's the worst, but are there worse ones?
I don't. I'd have to like look at a fucking episode listing and try to figure it out. But yeah, it's most likely the worst.
Yeah. Okay, if you were gonna watch one episode of Seinfeld, if you were gonna try to win me over, what one episode of Seinfeld would you and listeners? hot@clarkwoods.com if you also have suggestions. What one episode of Seinfeld should Chris watch?
I don't want to do something cliche and say like the Soup Nazi or something like that. The one, I think the one where they're going to the I think I forget who was having a dinner party, but then Jerry was supposed to bring a marble rye, or somebody was supposed to bring a marble rye.
Okay.
To the party or whatever, and from the specific bakery, and then like Jerry basically mugs this old lady for marble rye because she bought the last one.
Okay, all right. So Steve says the marble rye, the one with the marble rye.
I think that one's really good.
All right. If anybody else out there has suggestions on how to win me over on Seinfeld, I will.
It's not going to make you like the characters anymore.
Well, but I don't think. I think that's a hurdle that I just have to get past. And I think you're right that the trouble is I haven't ever seen an episode that like took these characters and did something interesting with them. Right? Like you can have a whole bunch of assholes, and if you do something interesting, I mean, the fucking Three Stooges are a bunch of assholes, and they continuously do something interesting with them.
And what is it? Bryan Cranston was in it as Tim the dentist who Elaine dated for a short while.
Oh,
and then, like,
Bryan Cranston.
And he And then I think he and Jerry had this rivalry going.
Oh, okay. That could be interesting.
He was a recurring character.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people were, I mean, not necessarily recurring, but a lot of guest stars. And people who went on to things.
There was, I think it was later in the series where like Jerry was dating Janine Garofalo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they break up because they're too similar.
I can see that. I like Janine Garofalo. I don't know what and I like this is an interesting thing that just occurred to me. This is like therapy for me. Like I will be.
You mean this show for the past 217 episodes hasn't been?
Yeah, well, no, it usually is. So I usually get I get two therapy sessions a week. One with you, Steve, and
Which
all of
I
our
am not
listeners.
paid for.
and then one with my actual therapist. But no, there are times when she and I will be talking and I'll have this light go off, and now I have to remember what the hell the light was. I like Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I like who did you just mention? Janine Garofalo.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was only in one or two episodes, I think.
But these are female actors who play that kind of character. And I mean, like, so I haven't watched all of Veep, but I have loved the episodes of Veep that I've watched with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
So if you like Veep, you might like Seinfeld.
And so this is the thing that I'm coming to, and this.
I mean, I think as far as what she does in Veep, I think is much better than her as Elaine.
Yeah.
I think
You think Elaine is better, or
no?
Or
I think her.
Oh, her on Veep. Yeah.
Veep is much better. Like that's saying something because I like Elaine as a character a lot.
Yeah.
And so like I think she's done better with her character as the vice president.
I think it comes down to. This is maybe I need to go and on Friday and talk with my therapist about this. This is something that's been brewing. Is just male assholes are harder for me to I don't know. I like a woman who can be assertive and angry and not angry, but like I don't know. I like those two actresses, right? And I like other actresses who are of a similar style. But when it comes to the dudes, I'm just kind of like I don't know. There's some dude self-hatred that I need to work out in my therapy sessions. Is I guess what I'm saying.
Okay.
I love you, Steve.
Thanks.
You're a cool
even
dude.
though I'm angry and I yell at people when I play Smash Brothers.
But was that Seinfeld like? I don't know. I was trying to.
See, well, I think Seinfeld is more snarky. George is just. It's hard to. George is Larry David.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So like, he just makes all the worst decisions and says the worst things that, like, it's just in his nature to say the thing at the wrong time.
Right.
And then Kramer is just kind of a doof.
Yeah. All right.
Marlboro?
Marlboro. No, Marble Rye. I'm gonna say it a couple more times in my Marble Rye.
So maybe that episode. There's probably some other ones that are better, and I think that was just one that popped into my head.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I asked somebody years and years and years ago which episode, because I had a lot of friends who were super into Doctor Who. And I said, which episode do I watch? And they...
Christmas special or something?
No, they told me Blink, which I gather is a very... You were worried about giving a cliche answer. I feel like Blink has kind of become a cliche answer for where do you start with Doctor Who? Because there's very little Doctor Who in it. It's about these statues that... as I recall, the statues move when you're not looking at them.
You hold the bird down. I'll shit on him.
But the problem with that suggestion about watching Blink was I watched it. It was amazing. I was like, I don't really ever need to watch another episode of Doctor Who.
That's a weird conclusion to come to.
But I also feel time constrained, and this is something I'm always talking with my therapist about, and it ties into all sorts of deep-seated issues in my life. But I feel time constrained, and so picking up a new thing.
You should watch One Piece.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com slash hot slash. There could not be a better. God. Clarkwoods.com/hot/217. And if you would like to tell me which episode of Seinfeld or One Piece I should start with,
The first one.
you can send that email to hot@clarkwoods.com. I tried reading One Piece. I feel like if I watched it, it would work better for me.
Yeah, but like the problem with watching it is that
so
like
long.
at a certain point, like the first maybe 200 or so episodes,
Oh my God.
are paced reasonably well. But
Yeah.
I think after that is when like the pacing gets
Slow.
yes.
Yeah.
And it's fine to like because we watch it once a week,
Right.
with our breakfast on Sunday mornings. But
Yeah, to catch
watching that one episode, that 22 minutes or whatever it is, like with recap, probably like 15.
Oh my God. That's not a lot of show. For,
But like, and you know, occasionally something really cool happens, and you know, they put like some extra money into a couple of shots here and there.
Yeah.
But like, it's television animation, so it's not going to be up to snuff of like a feature film or whatever.
Right.
But you, the problem that you had reading it was that it was backwards.
I am not used to. I'm not used to that. I don't like change, Steve. I don't like new things.
Okay. Well, good night.
Good night, and good luck.